Welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host, Mahad, and we're here to review the Japanese Grand Prix. We're a little bit late this week due to some technical difficulties, but we're still here to review another fantastic race. Another race won by Max Verstappen and another Red Bull Constructors Championship. But today I'm joined by Kunle. How we doing, Kunle?
I'm good, bro. How you been?
I'm all good, man. I'm surviving. Martz, how we doing?
I'm all good, bro. I'm good.
Fantastic. Before we get started, let me plug all the socials and do all the housekeeping. So if you are listening to this on Spotify and Apple Music, please subscribe, please like, please leave a review, 5-star. If you're watching this on YouTube, watching the visuals, leave some comments, leave a like, subscribe, and so on. And if you are if you're on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, follow us on there, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. And we need to get your support in. So for us to grow, for us to keep growing as a platform, we need your support. So, and we'll keep bringing you that content, even if it is a little bit late. So for the first topic we're going to talk about, because we're not going to, I know you're probably listening to a lot of other pods and they've kind of like tiptoed around the subject and they got there eventually. We're going to talk about Mercedes. We're going to talk about this pending civil war that's going on at the moment. And you two are the perfect people to have on regarding this, because there is a lot of friction going on at Mercedes between Russell and Hamilton. And it might not be outwardly showing amongst the drivers in interviews or anything like that, but on track, there is issues there. And I don't think personally Mercedes knows how to handle that. So, let's talk about what happened. Let's just break this down. So let me go to a precursor. So firstly, George Russell decides, I'm going to attack Lewis Hamilton in the race. Quite early on, Lewis Hamilton decides, you know what? Remember, Lewis Hamilton had damage quite early on in the race due to the incident with Perez. Lewis Hamilton immediately just takes the position back on the straight and says, what's going on here? Are we actually fighting or what? So I want people to keep in mind that Russell was the instigator for this whole situation, yeah? Then Hamilton pulls away and Russell gets desperate. So he decides to do a one-stop. Like he always does. Sticks out a one-stop, says, Inshallah, safety car is coming. Because we saw this last year and it worked. It worked multiple times. This is why he won on points. Because he's like, let me hang for a safety car and let me get lucky here. And Hamilton didn't get the luck of the draw. That didn't work out for him. He was just a slow car on track. He was a traffic cone. Lando Norris overtook him. Oscar Piastri overtook him. Leclerc overtook him. People are getting highlight packages on his head top with these overtakes. Yeah. Then Sir Lewis Hamilton, quite fast on track, significantly faster than Russell, goes behind George Russell and says, what's going on here, basically? Can you move out of the way so I can go catch Leclerc? And let me just get this. We're going to get this word for word, the radios, yeah? So Marcus, his radio engineer, says, so Hamilton catches Russell, and then Marcus's engineer says, we'll invert positions. And then Russell's replies, repeat. Then Marcus says, okay, we'll invert positions. Then Russell replies, why can't we invert on the last lap? He just keeps the DRS just like last week. Let's keep fighting for a bigger result. So what he's implying is, if we do what Carlos Sainz did with Lando Norris last week, we can get a bigger result by doing this DRS train. So, and technically, what he's saying is, I want to finish in front of Hamilton. Yeah? Marcus says, so it's an instruction, George, exclamation mark. Quite firm, say this is an instruction. Yeah? Russell says, yeah, copy. I'll do it on the main straight when I have DRS. Russell says he's got new tires. Is he able to overtake me? Because he doesn't want to be seen as giving the position back to Russell. Giving the position to Hamilton. He wants him to overtake him. Then Marcus says, so this is instruction. We will invert exclamation point. Then Russell says, yeah, I hear you. And he shouts it, yeah, I hear you. And he says, Russell, he's not even close to me. And literally maybe 1 millisecond later, Hamilton passes him. So I'm going to, let's break this down. Kunle, What's going on here? You break down your observation of what's happening with this relationship between Russell and Hamilton, because what's going through Russell's mind at the moment?
You know what? Yeah, I'll be the logical person here. I'll let Martz be the crazy person. The problem is a lack of leadership in that Mercedes team, and we've been saying this for a bit. I don't know who's in
afraid
charge.
of the big bad wolf? Not me. Not me.
I'm dying. You know what? Matt, you go first. Let me attend to something.
No, go on, Kunle.
You
Go
go.
on,
No, you go first. Let me attend to something real quick.
Okay. Listen, George. I mean, Kunle's right. It comes down straight away from a lack of leadership at the Mercedes garage. They like to do this thing where it's like equal opportunities. No, there's no such thing as equal opportunities in F1. There's one and there's two. And you know what? If you want to do 1 and 2 because Russell's quicker and Hamilton has to be a second driver of that race, fair enough. But you need to highlight that before the race. Because then I think between Hamilton and Russell, obviously, clearly Hamilton's the number one driver in the team. He's the one's getting the most points, whatnot. Doesn't mean George is an absolute scrub and he's a bum and he has to get disrespected like Bottas did. He doesn't deserve the Bottas treatment. But there comes a point where you have to just think, well, we're not fighting for a championship here. We need to work together as a team to get as many points as possible. What George said at the beginning was, I can let him pass on the final lap and I just stay in the DRS. No, what if Lewis goes on to catch on Leclerc? Even if you fall behind sides, it's still the same amount of points. But you're at least helping your teammate and you're showing your teammate that, you know what, I will sacrifice for you. And in the future, I will expect the same thing from me. For me. You know what I mean? You remember what Lewis had done? When Bottas, I can't remember what race it was. Was it 2019 or 2020? And Lewis had to go past. Lewis was quicker. And they're like, Valtteri, it's James. Let Lewis pass. Valtteri moved out of the way. Let Lewis pass. Lewis, final lap, didn't catch, was it Leclerc or Vettel? Let him back through. That's it.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, no, so it was Raikkonen. Couldn't catch Raikkonen.
I remember that. And everybody was on about, oh, yeah, Lewis would regret this at the end of the championship, blah, blah, blah.
Nope, let him pass.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that.
And that could have happened. If George wasn't too busy trying to defend Lewis, he would have had a bit more tyres. Could have let Hamilton through. Hamilton maybe catch Leclerc. You might still be able to defend from sides. Very unlikely, I know, but you never know. But you wasted your tyres trying to defend off Lewis. Again, just very, very selfish acts. And we see it again and again. And it's about you come in and you pretended to be this type of team player when I said he's not going to be a team player. I said it. I said I don't like the guy. He's very snaky. They're calling him Woody online now. They're like, I got a snake in my boot. Yes, there is a snake in his boot.
Woody Toy Story Woody. Okay.
Woody, yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not. Yeah,
okay,
George.
Okay. So,
George
yeah.
Let me ask you. Kunle, you go off.
All right. First things first. We knew this was coming.
We did.
And this is not even a first Mercedes car. This is just a basic bummy Mercedes. W13 or what they're calling it out here?
14B.
14B? Yeah, that badina ain't baddies. You know, I seen an Instagram post. It's like, if you're not fine, if you're not rich, you're not a baddie, you're just a fine girl. This is not a bad car. This is just a basic ass car, bro. And
this is a bad car.
It's a bad car. The B is for bad. The B is for bad. The B is for bad.
What are you saying? Was it catfish?
Yeah, it was a catfish. It's a catfish car.
You know what's so funny? Yeah, it got lipo. It went up to Miami. Slimmed down. Said, nah. Listen, we're gonna have to get that reverse lipo.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but so this is the thing, right? I feel like it comes down to a few things. Firstly, it's Lewis has been nice, or Lewis has been nice. It's not Lil Bro, that kid, since he joined the team. It's not told him, you're my number two. It's not, it's not put him in his place. I hate Fernando Alonso, but yeah, I'm moving like that with Fernando. Just keep it a buck. Go ask Esteban. Like you gotta be caught with a certain cloth to be able to hang with Fernando like that. He's not gonna do that to Fernando Alonso. Like you're joining the team, you're joining as number 2. So that's number
But
one.
no, but does he? Let me ask you this question: does Russell know he's joined as a number 2? I do not think.
Which is where I'm leading. I'm leading.
Common sense. Common sense. Common sense.
I was leading to.
Cool, carry on.
Number 2, Mr. Toto Wolff. There's been no clear indication to this guy that this is a 7-time champion, over 100 race wins, over 100 pole positions. Brother, I don't even think you've done 100 races in Formula 1 yet. To even, you're not there to compete with him. You're there to complement what he does. Your barometer is not to beat him. No, you're not beating him right now. That should have been set out. But there's been too much of the whole, oh yeah, we let our race drivers race, blah, 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 blah. And usually it would be, okay, one person is already in the lead, so the other person's playing, second fiddle. At this point of the championship, Lewis is clearly in the lead. Within the team. How many races are left?
7, something like that.
Yeah, 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah.
6 or 7. And the gap is about 70 points.
75 points, exactly.
75 points. Mercedes ain't getting no wins this year. If we're keeping it back.
Ferrari's catching them.
And who's that because of?
I don't even think Ferrari needed to cut. I just feel like Ferrari's been better, but they just had more bozo in them than Mercedes before. And now they seem to have their shit together because you don't see them squabbling with each other or doing dumb shit anymore. And when those two things combine, you have this kid who I know number 3 is the media. I feel like the media is the media too. Because, last year they were on about, oh, look at George, just coming, he's beat Lewis, blah, blah, blah. No one cares who you beat if you're not winning the championship. For me, I don't care. I mean, maybe...
Does Lewis care?
Nope.
Bro, that man didn't even know there was point for finishing 10th at some point.
Bro,
he finished. We
got somebody that's new money and old money.
Yeah, he finished P10 in one race.
Lewis don't know what the price of milk is.
Exactly.
You don't, and that's just an analogy in considering the levels of what they've done in Formula 1. He's so far clear in terms of what he's looking at and what he's observing. Yeah, Russell knows what point you get for 10th place. Hamilton don't know.
Bro,
he's not ran there.
If it's not 25, 18, or 15, I don't really think he knows what points he's getting. It's probably maybe at the end of the race when they're doing the debrief, you're like, okay, yeah, Lewis, you got 10 points for finishing 5th. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. On to the next. So you see that media narrative that's building even before Russell joined Mercedes about, okay, he's going to come and compete with Lewis. He's going to be better than Bottas. He's going to be a racing driver. He's already he's already qualifying well in the Williams. He's probably going to do better in the Mercedes. And at the end of last season, after they put Lewis through rigorous testing of that car and still don't listen to him, which made no sense. You put a man through a gulag and you ask him, what did you face in the gulag? And he tells you, this is what I faced. This is what it should look like. And you don't even listen to him, which is a whole nother thing entirely. And you get some safety cars, and that too last year. He finishes ahead of Lewis, and then they're going into it like, oh yeah, beat Lewis last year. Maybe he's the number one. I think someone said on F1 TV they called him the number 1 driver in the team. Are you dizzy? George Russell, number 1 driver in a team where Lewis.
Let me know when I can possibly counteract these points.
where not even Lewis, where Sir Lewis Hamilton exists in a team where he's won 6 world championships and has led the team to 7 world championships now? And you're telling me George Russell is going to be number 1 in there while Lewis is still racing? Fuck out of here with that weird shit. Like, I don't even care what the counter to that is. Like, maybe in Russell's head is thinking, because every driver feels like, yeah, they're the best driver, blah blah blah. But there's harassment and there's flirting.
All right. All right. What I want to just state is, because there's been a lot of like takes by a lot of Lewis Hamilton fans that I'm not particularly feeling at this moment in time, and I feel like they may be kind of babying Lewis Hamilton in a way because they're like, oh, he should always have a second driver. Look, he should be there to be.
No. Let's be real.
Look, he shouldn't be maybe attacked or threatened by his teammate. I don't think we need to be behaving like that because Lewis Hamilton was going to dunk on him regardless.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I gave 3 reasons as to why Russell's felt that comfortable.
Yeah, no, you have to think about it. If you put yourself in Russell's shoes, Russell has been this has been reinforced in his mind. Toto's told him, "You're coming in. You're the future of Mercedes. When Hamilton retires, you're that guy. You're leading this team, right? He's a Mercedes driver. Toto's his agent. This is what's happened. He has now moved into that seat, so he's already got that mentality in his head from when he's in Williams, bro. When he's slapping Bottas in his head, he's like, "I'm taking your job, brother." He took man's job now. He's gone into the team. In the team, he's using dark arts here and there. He's trying his best. And guess what? He's come out on top in terms of points. Something that it's like one of those ones where Lewis Hamilton don't care about that because he's just trying to make sure that the car's good and make sure he can compete again. But Russell's, in his mind, I'm trying to beat Lewis Hamilton. That's my benchmark. He achieves that. So in his mind, it's reinforced again to say, look, I go toe-to-toe with this guy, right? Now it comes to this season, he can't go toe-to-toe with him. He's realizing, he's scrambling, he's looking for opportunities here and there where he can possibly gain an advantage. And it's not working out for him. The guy's hanging out there for safety cars. He's going toe-to-toe with Lewis whenever he gets the opportunity on track. He's saying certain things where it looks like he's disappointing team orders. He doesn't really understand why he's not equal because he's won on points. So in his mind, and we saw the lie detector, he thinks he's better than Lewis Hamilton. And then he has every right to think that, right? But in reality, what's going to happen is he's going to get beat down. And then it's going to be one of those situations. When Bottas came into to Mercedes, he thought he was better than Hamilton. And then he got cooked. So those who can't hear shall feel. Right? And he's got that situation right now where he's got something in his pocket where he's saying, I beat Lewis Hamilton head to head. It's kind of like a Jensen Button thing. Look, I beat him head to head though. I cooked him in the season. Even though that wasn't really the reality, my man's doing testing sessions and the other guy's fighting for his life, trying to get every point he can. So in his mind, he's going to think that. And I don't think it's wrong for him to think that. I don't think it's wrong for him to know. I don't think people should be attacking him for thinking that.
But I don't think it's put in the work to feel that way. That's
why don't you think he put in the work? He beat Lewis Hamilton on points, even though that's not reality. He did not perform better than Lewis Hamilton. In his mind, that's what he should think. Every racetrack, you should be in Formula One if you don't think you're better. You're the best.
I agree with that. You shouldn't be in it, especially in a top team. You shouldn't be in that team. But I still don't think it's put in the work. Like, you've not done, brother. You have one race win to your name. Like, you've not done enough for you to go in that team thinking you're better than a 7-time world champion. It's not a 1-time champion. It's not a 2-time champion. It's not a lucky one-off champion. It's a 7-time world champion. And if you want to feel like you're better than a 7-time world champion, you damn near have to have a body of work good enough to stand next to one season of Lewis Hamilton. Russell doesn't even have that body of work. Half of that season. And that's me. That's how I see it. And this is not even being babying Lewis Hamilton or gatekeeping. Like, I'm not doing that Team LH bullshit. It's just the reality. Like, you look at it, and last season was probably one of Lewis's worst seasons in Formula One.
But do you think because Mercedes always say this, they say, look, we don't have number 2 drivers, we treat them both like number 1, whatever. So do you believe in these calls that Mercedes should have a number 2 driver for Lewis Hamilton?
No, I'm not a fan of having number 2 drivers. I'm not a fan of, outrightly. Every time a driver has become number 2 to Lewis, is made them number 2. Is made them number 2.
I think you should be number 2 based on ability.
Yeah.
Like you will be given first driver opportunities, but if you carry on losing, you will be de facto number 2.
Number 2. And I agree with that. I mean, this season so far
doesn't mean you start on equal playing ground though.
Why?
I'm fine with starting on equal playing ground.
Yeah, but you know how Mercedes operate. They gave us equal ground.
Yeah, but
only Mercedes do that though. Only Mercedes do that.
At the end of the day, the guy that's brought you 8 constructor championships, 7 world drivers championship. You do not say, oh, well, yeah, you got to start again from the beginning on equal ground as George Russell, who's coming from a deadbeat team, and everyone thought he's a better driver than he actually is. He's not. Where do people actually now questioning George's ability now? It just tells you where it is. Was he even that great of that? Is he that going to be that world champion? Probably. He could just be another Charles Leclerc. That's it.
Damn, Charles.
Because at the end of the day, Charles doesn't look like the actual mental team leader of Ferrari. It's Sainz.
Yeah, but
you might be
right.
George doesn't give you that. George doesn't. That.
No, but George gives you the speeches like, oh yeah, we're going to do this strategy, we're going to do that as a team, we're going to move forward.
He talks the
very
PR, but he's not
politician like.
Yeah, but he's there's no bark in his bite. So yeah, or is it no bite in his bark or whatever?
Can I ask a question? Do we have to question why he was brought into the team in the first place? Because if you see it like from the outset, you've already got Lewis Hamilton. He's your world champion and so on. All you need to do is provide a car, and he's going to propel your team forward. Do you need a driver like Russell?
No, not really.
When you got Lewis Hamilton,
the problem was they didn't know how long. They stalled so much with Lewis's contract. They didn't know how long he was going to stay, and that is Mercedes' fault. That's why they brought in George Russell, because they're like, oh, well, we have to secure our future, or we're going to lose George. If had Hamilton signed, like, say, in 2020 or 2021, a 5-year deal with Mercedes, and he's going to race for the next 5 years, George Russell will not be in the seat next to him. I can guarantee you that. Because they're not worrying about losing George, because we've got a top-class driver now. We'll find another driver. In 5 years, who knows what's going to happen? In 5 years, Lando, Charles, not Piastri, maybe. Anyone is going to be up for grabs. Anyone could. George might even be back up for grabs. We can lose him, and he'll be back up for grabs in 5 years' time. But at the end of the day, now we've got Lewis for a long term. They have to stick with George because no one wants to lose top drivers. No one wants to lose top drivers. And the only reason why they're not treating George like a number 2 is because they believe he's going to be a top driver, and one day he's going to be able to win them a championship in this team. But he's not going to be able to do half as what Lewis can do for them.
He's not contractually a number 2 driver like a how Perez is. Perez, I guarantee on his contract it says you're a number 2 driver. Perez is like, I need a drop.
Perez doesn't need to have it in his contract. It's common sense.
He knows.
It's common sense. You come into a team with Max Verstappen, it's common sense you're going to be number 2. It's literally common sense. The only person I think another situation kind of might brew in the future, it could be Lando and Oscar. If you're not clear about it, where Lando is clearly the better driver, and people keep on pushing this narrative that, oh, you know, Oscar's better than Lando, Oscar's gonna do this. He clearly isn't, because we saw what Lando did to him on Sunday. On a proper racetrack, we saw what Lando done for him. And listen, don't mean Piastri's not a good driver, but sometimes you have to set clear boundaries and be like, this is our main guy. We're gonna do what's best for him because we believe that he's got a better chance of winning us a championship. And right now, you don't have to have an argument because you're not fighting for that championship. But when it does come down to the crux of it and you're fighting for a championship, say in 2024, 2025, you need that number one and number two. There's no way you can go into a season saying, oh, the both of us are going to win a championship. Look, or you're going to get another situation like 2016 where you end up having your Lewis Hamilton will come out and start throwing the team under the bus saying, oh, they're sabotaging my car. Do you want that to come out in 2026 in the height of the season when you're going to be battling a Red Bull, a McLaren, and possibly a Ferrari? You don't want that type of smoke.
What would this look like if Mercedes had a good car and they were fighting for races right now?
This will look like 2016 but worse.
You know what?
I'm telling you, it'll be 2016 but worse. Because I feel like if there's race wins in it, George will not hold back. He will not hold back.
So it's two things, right? It could either be a case of 2016 or it could be a 2015. It could either be one of the two. It could be a case where Lewis is like, you know what? You're gonna get a few race wins. You're gonna contend for this championship. But I'm going to have you fucked up by the end of the championship.
Right,
we've lived this movie. We've lived this movie. Do you know why?
But we're talking about
this ain't 2016. Do you know why this is not 2016? Because 2016 they had a car advantage. You got Max and all these other guys.
Exactly,
there,
that's what I'm going to say.
You can't give away points. This is 2007, where Alonso and Hamilton are taking points of each other. It's just dumb.
Exactly.
But
this is why I believe in first driver, second driver.
And McLaren realized that mistake very soon, didn't they? That's why they got COVID.
You can't do first driver.
Was it Kovalainen? Next to Lewis.
Kovalainen is de facto number two, ability-wise.
Yeah.
He didn't have it in his contract saying Kovalainen's a number two driver. He's just ability-wise number two. You hire somebody that thinks they're a number one, but they're not a number one. That's what you're supposed to do, ability-wise. That's why Bottas was a good hire, because he thought he was a number one guy, and he pushed Lewis a little bit at the beginning, but Lewis just used to beat him down. Right? That's what Max is doing right now to Perez.
Ideally, the person that should be next to Lewis was Esteban Ocon.
Ocon ability-wise can't touch him.
Huh? Exactly. But he's good enough to push Lewis, but he's not good enough to beat Lewis. And I'm not saying that. And this goes back to your point of number one, number two. This is where you have a de facto number two, and Esteban Ocon would have been the ideal person to help you, because Esteban Ocon he was around the Mercedes garage. He can help develop the car as well. And he will think about the team rather than someone saying, well, I got a race win this year. I think we should go in this direction. When clearly for the whole year, the car was not working properly, and he still decided to go follow that because he got a race win. That does not make sense. Does that make sense to you?
I personally think it's absurd that they were ever thinking or listening to George Russell in any types of car development when you got a guy that's there.
He was at Williams. He was at the worst. He was in Williams, and he never once did anything to help develop that car. Look what Albon's doing right now. Look what Albon is doing right now. You want to tell me you're
look what he did to the Red Bull as a test driver in 2021. Next year they won the championship.
Red Bull was dominating because of Albon. What Albon was doing.
Yeah, I don't know if Mick can recreate that for Mercedes. But yeah.
Hold that, Chris.
I mean, to be honest, a part of me just feels like Lewis is great enough to put this guy in his place.
He will.
Without the influence coming from the team. But the other part of me just also recognizes that someone needs to make that sort of evident to him to say, hey, look, when we tell you get out of the way for Lewis, you don't question it.
Exactly. And this is a problem. Like when you
I heard Toto made that call from the hospital bed.
He can rest in peace.
Hey, I'm telling you, listen. When Lewis is there, and as I just said to Mahad, you can have a number one or two race by race while you're not winning for championship. When it comes down to the crux of the championship, and you're fighting against multiple cars, you have to be like, we're going into this believing this person's going to win us the championship. You can't go into this thinking both of them are got a chance to win this championship. For example, I'll be real with you. If after like 5 races, George has won like 3 of the races and Hamilton is still behind him, you focus on George that season. If that's the case, when you have a race-winning car, you focus on George that season. And you're like, Lewis, I know you're a 7-time world champion, and I know you want this 8th so badly, but we have to focus on this guy because we believe he's going to do it because he's proving it right now. You can't then be like, oh, Lewis can't then question it and be like, well, I want to say, even though he's won 7 times world champion, you're not doing it at this moment in time for us. We have to go on form right now. And we believe that this is what's going to get us this win. So now when the roles are reversed, George has to be able to do the same. And the Mercedes do not have the balls to do it. And if you're allowing George to question it right now, in higher pressure moments, it's going to be even worse. Because the team is going to be thinking, oh, we've got to please George. We've got to please George. When it comes to the contract renewals for George, it's going to be, oh, we've got to please George, or else he's going to leave us. Because we don't know if Hamilton's going to retire in 2 years. And this is what's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to add pressure to the team. And a team that's so bad at strategy does not need pressure.
So my thing is, sorry, Mahad, I know you want. My question now is that the whole reason, and this is going to go back to when Bottas was on Mercedes, and everybody was saying, Bottas is finishing behind the Red Bulls, is finishing behind the Ferraris.
Don't even go there, Kunle. Do not.
No, wait. I know what. No. I'm not bringing back Bottas. No, I'm not bringing back Bottas. But I'm just saying, at that point, the reason why everybody was shouting for George to come in was to say, secure Mercedes as the top team, right? Isn't it now sort of like counterproductive? Like, if you're saying, you don't want Russell to be far back, but then everyone and their moms on Team LH is like, oh, Bottas would not do this. Bottas would not do that. But then they were the ones complaining that Bottas wasn't close enough to Lewis. Like,
Bottas
I don't know if you get
nasty things in 2021.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Can't. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But I just said Bottas did some nasty things in 2021, which really made me question. I don't even think it was
he
like...
did that because he won't get a new.
He was leaving. He knew he was leaving.
Exactly.
It's like when you hand in your notice and you're just doing your own thing.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing. He didn't care whether I followed what the team wanted or he didn't follow what the team wanted.
He knew he wasn't getting a contract.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way Mercedes even handled the whole situation of the Imola crash kind of just showed that Bottas wasn't wanted here, because they kind of PR'd their way around it, like, oh, George doesn't really like this, blah blah blah. We got George to apologize. I mean, don't just get George to apologize. You slap him in his head, bruv. You give him a good punching. Like, George could have killed Bottas at the end of the day. And that type of disrespect kind of just trickles down. If you're not going to give me a contract, and it's like from Hungary, Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah, let's show the man some respect.
Yeah.
All right. Before we kind of like wrap up on the subject, I kind of just want to lay down like Mercedes, brother. You've already shown us that you can't handle 2 number 1 drivers.
And that's another thing.
Rosberg and Hamilton. You've already seen this. We've seen this movie already, man.
Then you bring back
understand
Nico.
Why are you not learning? Bring back Nico.
Bring back Nico.
Nico
knows his place.
Nico knows his place. No, did he know his place in 2016? I don't know.
Yeah, I think after 2016, Nico knew his place.
Yeah, because he retired.
Exactly.
But what I'm trying to say
I don't want vloggers. I don't want to drive F1 cars.
If you're gonna operate with this 2 number 1 driver policy, you let them go toe to toe for the first 5 rounds. Yeah, whoever's got the most points at a certain point, or if the gap is a certain point, that's it. You're de facto number 2 for that season.
Yeah, I feel like 5 out of 24 races is too early though.
No, I'm not. I'm just a hypothetical amount. I'm just saying when you get to a certain amount where, look, we need to put our eggs in this basket rather than yours, and now you're number 2. That's how they need to operate. Or they do it on a race by race basis, and whoever's fastest. You know what I'm saying? If you're like how Russell was in this race, you know how people were like saying in Singapore, oh, why didn't they just use team orders to swap Lewis and Hamilton? And
they couldn't have done that then. Russell was fast.
Listen, if Russell is slower than Hamilton, swap them around. Look at what Ferrari used to do. Listen, Alonso is faster than you. This is what you got to do. At the end of the day, we saw it in the same race in Suzuka. Listen, Piastri was 5/10 slower a lap than Lando Norris. Of course, you're going to do team orders. Why we even have a conversation as a F1 community about team
shouldn't
orders?
even be.
Somebody's 5/10 faster than
they're worrying about George's contract, and they want to keep him happy, and because they want to keep him,
awful.
and that is a problem. I'm telling you, if this was 2017 and George was in that car next to Lewis at their same ability right now, they're not doing this. They are not doing this. Like, they're telling George he's number 2. Like, they'll bully George like he was Valtteri. They'll bully George like they did Valtteri. But because Lewis is coming up to that stage now, at that age where he's like, I don't know if he's going to retire after this contract. I don't know if he's going to retire after this contract. That is why they keep on doing it, and they keep on pandering to George. The Mercedes team keep on pandering to George, and to make him feel comfortable, feel like, yes, he's still part of him. He's our future. He's this, he's our that. You need to be prepared if you want to win this 8 championship, and it's going to be Hamilton, you're going to have to be prepared to lose George and just get another driver. If you have to go and spend money to do it, just do that. But you have to be prepared to do that.
I guarantee they told Russell when he signed the contract that Hamilton's going to be gone.
Yeah, I don't think they expected him to sign another contract for another 2 years. I think they thought he was going to.
I don't think Russell either did.
Yeah,
I don't even think Hamilton knew he was going to stay. To be fair,
I think he does. I think he's going.
Russell in an ideal world, Russell was thinking, if what happened didn't happen in AD 21, Hamilton would have retired.
Russell was the one that put out the tweet on the account about Ferrari. Lewis go to Ferrari.
I know that was you. Don't try.
That was George Russell.
I'm dead.
Hey, listen. At least Ferrari would say, "Look, Hamilton, you're number 1, mate." They're brutal.
Yeah. They're brutal like that.
Red Bull are brutal. They'll say you're number 1.
No, yeah. Well, Ferrari number 1 driver was the Charles Leclerc because they believed he was going to win the championship.
And he was doing it ability wise. This year he wasn't doing it ability wise. That's why it's up in there.
That's why it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're thinking like Sainz, and they're looking at Sainz.
It's looking like Sainz going forward.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Sainz gets a contract before Charles Leclerc. I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Anyway, I just want to say...
Okay, any final thoughts on this whole Mercedes situation? Because I feel like it's been brewing for months now. We've had to allocate some time. We allocated 40 minutes to this.
40 big ones, bro. I'm here to say...
George is just a snake. I mean, I say he's a snake, but he's doing what any racing driver would do, but he's not that guy. And I was right. That's all. That's all I need. Vindication. They tried to tell me I was talking Japanese, but listen, I was telling the truth. I was right. Okay.
Final thoughts. Team LH versus Mercedes. I'm here to see it happen. We've been shouting for years that Toto's not the one. They're finally seeing it. They're finally getting it. They're finally realizing that they're not Mercedes fans. They're just Lewis Hamilton fans. And if that team loses relevancy, if all of Lewis Hamilton fans stop supporting them, then I'm here to see how it turns out.
Listen, they're all jumping ship to Piastri right now. Literally,
I'm seeing it in 4K. You guys are weirdos. What is going on here?
They're jumping ship to Piastri right now, man.
Lando hates on Team LH, so let's support Piastri. You know, then
they
tweeted. Man were tweeting, yeah, Piastri is better than Norris and Russell already. Just because they got agendas against Russell and Norris. And then the next day, Oscar Piastri had 17 seconds on the head by his own teammate.
That's not going to work.
The next day.
That's not going to work.
Don't be jumping ships like that, man. Just stay
let
us stay there.
Let Oscar be Oscar, man. Let him.
And do you know what? My problem is with the whole Team LH situation, about how they're perceiving the whole situation about with Russell and so on, Russell's not that guy anyway. He's not a threat. So why acting like he's a threat? He's not a threat, man. He's not a threat. Ability wise, Lewis is going to beat him down. That's just how it is, man. This is. We've seen the script already with Rosberg. We've seen it already. We don't need to do this. We don't need to be like he should respect Lewis Hamilton and he should be a number 2 driver.
I
We don't need
just
to do
wanna
that.
say,
We don't need to do that.
this isn't
We don't
even
need to do that.
This isn't the Lewis that's beating him right now. Is not a Lewis in his prime, and it's not Lewis at his best.
And
This is
not,
Lewis driving in 3rd, 4th gear.
He don't care.
He don't even care right now.
I'm seeing tweets. I'm tweeting tweets like, yeah, Hamilton he's aiming for 2nd in the championship, for drivers' championship. He does not care. He does not care.
He'll get
if the
there
car race wins, he can't win races. He don't care.
Bro,
Lewis will get to P2 because of Perez being crap. That is it.
It's sipping whiskey after the race. Bro, don't care.
He literally does not care. He literally does not care. Man, do you know how much times he said in this season that, oh yeah, I'm gonna try help the team get P2 in the constructors. That's all he cares about, because that's money for the team. That's bonuses for the staffs. That's money for everybody else. Yeah. He does not care about the driver's standard.
You know, that's extra money for
he's not fighting for P1. He does not care about the driver's standard.
Bro.
George Russell is like drowning right now. Yeah, he is drawing on points of Lando Norris. Lando Norris was on a back marker for half the season.
The only time Lewis complains,
4 P17s.
You know, the only time Lewis complains is when there's a race win on the table and they mess up the strategy, and he comes on radio and it's like, guys, we messed up. We got to sort this out. And that is literally it.
That's it.
He does not care about P2.
It's cognitive.
They tried to cook me the other day for talking about podiums.
Yeah, he doesn't care. This is what I'm saying.
He doesn't care about podiums.
So listen. Everybody was trying to say
half his podiums are race wins.
Martz. Look at the situation in Singapore. Yeah, the situation in Singapore where he should have let Russell through. Do you know what? Are you actually listening to what Hamilton said? Hamilton said, "I should have had pole or bottled it."
Yeah.
Because he knows that he could have got a win.
Basically.
But you lot have got cognitive dissonance about, Hamilton, he should have let Hamilton through. He's thinking about, I bottled quality. I've been shit at quality all year. But when we at Pitstop Fracas say something bad about Lewis Hamilton, saying, he needs to fix up on certain things, we get cooked. But when he says it himself, we're observing the sport. What you lot did?
Bro don't want hand-me-downs. He wants to win it himself.
Exactly. So let's hold everything to a higher standard, like how Lewis Hamilton hold himself to a higher standard. Yeah. He only wants to win. He's only interested in wins, poles, championships.
I do feel like he could have been done better to overtake George, though. He would have
100% done better. He would have 100% done better. But what he's like, I don't care about that. I care about I bottled pole. I need to sort it out. And he will sort it out. But the situation is another situation we're going to talk about right now, and it kind of links back to Mercedes, is McLaren double podium in Suzuka,
Customer team
of Mercedes, the customer team of Mercedes has decided we're not going to come with a fresh car this year. Came with the fresh car in June in Silverstone, in July in Silverstone, brought one upgrade on that car and is beating you in a race by nearly a pit stop.
Ridiculous.
So clearly the engine is not the issue.
So the engine is not an issue. But what I want to know is how Mercedes have brought this car in, a brand new car this year, developed that car, got rid of had no side pods, put some side pods on, brought upgrades here and there all over the gaff, had a significant margin in time to McLaren, and now McLaren is dunking on their heads 20 plus seconds in a race.
More wind tunnel time.
More wind tunnel time?
I think that obviously plays a part, but also, again, it comes back to, as Kunle said, leadership.
Listening to your lead driver. Listening to your 7-time champion. It's basically that's what it is.
Listen, McLaren didn't ask Danny Ricciardo what he thought. They didn't ask Danny Ricciardo. Huh? Exactly.
They sacked Danny Ricciardo. They sacked the guy that designed the car, James Key. They basically just admitted the other day that they basically were going to get rid of Seidel anyway. They got rid of people immediately. Does Mercedes do that? With the failings that they've had since 2022, beginning of 2022.
I mean, look, the strategy department's gotten even worse since AIOU left.
It's because they're using ChatGPT.
They're still using Excel spreadsheets. That's a problem.
Them men are doing 4-second pit stops.
Gosh, they put 4 seconds on my boy's head top.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's before we talk about McLaren's double podium, obviously this links to it. Let's talk about why McLaren is ahead of Mercedes in this regard. What is going on operationally in Mercedes? Because they've had 6 fastest pit stops in 2 years. 6 fastest top 5 pit stops in 2 years. These men cannot do a pit stop under 2.5 seconds to save their life.
All right, man. I was about to say something really crazy, but you know, I hold my tongue.
Don't let me edit.
I mean, I don't even know, man.
But clearly, operationally, they're not operating well either. So forget about they can't manage the drivers. Forget about that. Yeah, they can't develop a car properly. They can't manage their pit crew properly. They can't manage strategy properly. Something that we've been pointing out a long time is that Lewis Hamilton and the engine has been covering up a lot of shit for years.
Yeah, a lot of the strategy in code that works is leave it to Lewis, basically.
Hammer time, Lewis.
You know, you have a man
It's
doing
Lewis and Inshallah.
Basically, right?
It's what basically Barcelona was doing in the last years with Messi. Just give the ball to Messi, please. I beg you.
Give it to Lewis. You know, like, let's see what LeBron's gonna do with the ball. Let's see what Lewis is gonna do.
It comes down. I think it comes down to efficiency and it's his strong leadership. Zach Brown's come in, he's completely changed McLaren around. Like the job he's done is ridiculous. The first 2 years, you were looking at him sideways, and you're like, "What are you doing?" But then he had a plan. That's the real L plan. Yeah.
You have to understand. Kunle as well. Yeah, where McLaren was, where they are now, compared the disadvantage they had to Mercedes. They had no engine. They had no money. They had like 3 sponsors on the car. Now we've got the most sponsors on the car. Yeah.
You know what?
So Zach Brown's job is to get money into the car. He's the CEO. He needs to get the money in. He needs to get the investors in. He's done that. Yeah. He's decided, look, the people that were in charge, James Keys, all these other people, we need to get rid of them. We made a flop on Daniel Ricciardo. Guess what? We're not going to do Dally and see out the contract. We're going to get rid of this guy. And guess what? We're going to target one of the best drivers out there and put him in there. And they got Oscar Piastri in the seat. They then said, look, we've got a disadvantage structurally to Mercedes because we do not have a wind tunnel. We do not have all the technical hires. We do not have the people, yeah? Well, let's put the existing talent that we have in this team since the bloody 80s, 70s, put them in the right places and hire the right people, build this new wind tunnel, invest in that so we can have an equal platform to your Mercedes, your Ferraris and Red Bull in terms of developing a car. These men have not even used that technology yet. They haven't even got Rob Marshall and David Sanchez in next year. They haven't even used the new wind tunnel yet, and they've already developed a car better than yours. So what's going to happen when they actually do that?
No, Mercedes.
My shout is Mercedes is not finishing higher than McLaren until 2026. Mercedes are done for these rigs. Until something drastic happens in terms of technical changes or something happens with Toto or something like that, where there's changes in the background, nothing's going to happen. Nothing happened at McLaren until changes were made in the background.
It's time for Toto to go. It's time to go. It really is.
It's not going. He won't stay 3% of the company.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
You can still step aside as team principal. You can hire a team principal.
Is in control. So the problem here,
Zach Brown's the CEO. He hired Andrea Stella. He hired a team principal.
You move upstairs. You get someone else to take over.
So
look, I'll be real. No. One second. I'll just say this. Look at James Vowles. Yeah, Williams is still a bit of a mess, but since he's taken over the team, they're looking so much better. Why couldn't he do something? I mean, yeah, he had the opportunity to do it at Mercedes and kind of wasn't working. Maybe because Williams is a smaller team and we've seen how bad they are. And there's only one way they can go. But it would have still been nice to see, you know what, if he was in charge of Mercedes, what could he have done? He would know. He knows the people that aren't good. They had James Allison making boats when they were designing crap cars. Why is he making boats when you're designing crap cars? He's a guy that's helped you win at least 3 or 4 year titles. He's helped win championships, create championship cars in the past. Why is he designing boats? For you to bring him back mid last year to come and start sorting things out now. It makes no sense. Structurally, they are on par with Ferrari. Like that is how I think. That's how I feel. They are that bad.
And Ferrari are actually making major changes since Vasseur came in and said, "Look, we need to sort this out." But like I said, there has to be movement and changes. I don't see there's movement or changes in the background.
So
why was Allison making boats? Same way in McLaren, Why did James Key say, yeah, Peter Prodromou, we're going to put you to the side, even though he was number 2 to Adrian Newey for how many years when he won with Vettel? Why did he say, oh, yeah, Neil Oatley, the guy that made championship-winning ground effect cars in the 1980s, yeah, we're not going to use you because I want to be in control. Second Key got sacked and then man got put in position. What happens with the car?
It gets better.
Vroom, vroom.
And why is Mercedes not making that? Mercedes like, oh, we can't get ahead around ground effect cars. Hire somebody.
So okay, all right. I'm putting this out there.
I
Look at
bring
the
back Ross
current.
Brawn. What
Look at the current.
Ross Brawn?
Ross Brawn's
Ross
there.
is
Give him a bag.
gone. He doesn't want to come back.
He will come back for the bag.
Brother, he built that place, you know.
He doesn't want to go back there.
He built that place, brother.
He doesn't
Well,
want
you
to go
know-
back there
you
because
know,
of Toto. Because Toto
Ross is
pushed him
not
out.
gonna go. Ross is not gonna go back there if Toto's still there, controlling.
Yeah, they
He's
pushed
not gonna
him out.
work. He's not working on that Toto. He's not working on. So look at the current structure. Who in that Mercedes team would be a better leader? Exactly.
I need Formula One. I need Formula One people in there. That's what I need.
Toto's not a Formula One person. He's a business.
You can't do the CEO / team principal thing when you're not really a team principal. Christian Horner is a team principal.
He's a TP. He's team principal. You look at it.
Andrea Stella is a team principal. This guy's a technical guy. He actually understands the cars
Yeah.
and what he's doing. He's designed cars. You can't have somebody that's a business person doing up team principal. If you want to be a senior role, it's not like Zach Brown's pretending to do technical stuff. Zach Brown's like, I get sponsors and hire people.
And that's what
Why is
Toto should
Toto
be
not
doing.
taking that role?
That's what he should be doing. Bring in someone who knows about cars, who knows about designing cars, who knows a shit car when
In all
it's
fairness, Toto does have
like-
a racing background. It's just
but
not
Toto
the right
doesn't
racing
know.
background.
Toto doesn't know a shit car if he sees one. You can give if you present Ross Brawn a shit car, he'll tell you this is a shit car. Because it's like he's been in charge of race winning cars. He knows what a good car is, regardless of what regulation is going on. So, it's up to Mercedes.
It's scary. Because you could see the polar opposites now. Let's speak about a little bit of McLaren.
But shout out McLaren, man. Shout out Oscar.
This is an insane turnaround in terms of not
Shout out
only
Lando.
you can see a team maximizing their opportunities. You can see Oscar Piastri, never driven on that track before. P2 in quali, P3 in the race. Lando outstanding in the race, phenomenal driving. Like, what's their ceiling, Kunle? What are you expecting? Not only for the end of the season, but towards the start of next season.
More team orders.
I still don't want to be. I don't want to be too excited. I feel like Lando's body of work is gradually speaking for itself, and the only thing left there is a race win. Unfortunately, this season, that might not come through because there is the case of the Red Bull and Max Verstappen. I don't think we're going to see a Singapore again. I don't think we're going to see Singapore happening again this year in terms of like the Red Bull performance. It's the same way they gave Brazil away last year. When they became dominant, and then Brazil happened, little blip, and everything went back to normal. I don't think that's happening again. So, but if the car does get significantly close to the Red Bull, I still personally believe if it's about two things where driver skill now becomes a factor, where tires become a factor, where it's now more than the ability of the car. I feel like it's possible for Lando to get a race win in that car.
I think they have a good chance in Qatar. In Qatar, I believe, is a high deg track, and one FP session for Red Bull. We know what Red Bull like.
Yeah, Red Bull without FP sessions are crazy. With setups.
Yeah.
So if they get it wrong in that FP session, game over. It's game over.
Yeah,
And
we'll see.
It could be Brazil like last year with Mercedes taking advantage when Red Bull messed up setup.
Yeah, man. So I feel but then we know that Red Bull car once it's in a sweet spot, Max is putting 20 seconds on everybody's head, like undoubtedly. unquestionably. With Oscar, I like what he's doing. I like the confidence in his driving. Like, that's a driver that knows how to drive, and he knows himself. He knows how to drive. However, it was a bit spooky last weekend. That the way Lando left him behind, I was looking at that time like, it's not looking nice. He didn't really look that tire. He didn't really like it. I don't think he liked racing on that tire, or he didn't know how to manage his pace. He dropped off. If there was a quicker car behind, they probably would have caught him. So,
he's had that before in Silverstone, where just randomly mid race he just ends up stinking.
Yeah. So, but then it's a rookie. I'm not.
And it's tire management. You have to learn.
It will learn that. It will learn that. There's certain drivers that are meant to be tire managers that are having stinkers up and down the grid. Fuck you, Perez, by the way. Yeah,
we're gonna talk about him.
Yeah, he's a rookie, so I'm managing my expectations. I'm excited for what McLaren can do with with the wind tunnel and with the personnel coming in, and with a probably better Mercedes engine or whatever engine we're gonna get at some point. But it's looking good. It's looking exciting, and let's see. But I'm still managing expectations. I'm not trying to go crazy overboard about it.
Yeah, I think with Oscar as well, a good sign is the mentality. The man got P3 as a rookie. Do you know what he said? I was shit today. Still, he acknowledged it. He knew. He said, "I was not good today. I know why. I need to improve on it." Elite mentality from somebody that's a rookie. Because certain man would just grab the podium and be like, "Yeah, I did my thing." But he was like, "Yeah, kind of, but." Yeah, Lando was up the road, so I need to kind of improve on that. So anybody that was saying, yeah, Piastri's better than Oscar, just Piastri's better than Lando, just chill off for a second, innit? I know you hate Lando and that, and you just want to be jumping on the Piastri bandwagon.
People need to realize Lando's a bad boy driver.
Lewis Hamilton acknowledges that he's a bad boy driver. I don't understand,
Yo.
Yeah, just be observant, innit? People are talking to me about Russell. Lando's better than Russell. I don't care. I said this years ago.
They need to get it. Like, they need to know that this boy can drive the shit out of a Formula 1 car. Like, put him in a race-winning car. He's winning races.
He's the third best driver in Formula 1.
It's not even close. The boy can drive. People need to realize that. Put some respect on his name. I get it. You don't like him because he might come off as arrogant. He might be a Tory. He might be spoiled. He might sound like a brat. But you shouldn't speak on him like you're speaking about Lance Stroll.
I would like to see him make an overtake without asking for team orders, though.
He made an overtake at the beginning of the race on Oscar Piastri. What are you talking about? In the same race.
I would still like him to make an overtake without asking for team orders.
He's made several overtakes.
He's asking for team orders too often.
Wait.
Because the guy's slower than him.
Matt, look.
Lewis Hamilton. If Russell is slower than Hamilton.
I know. I hear it. I get it. But Hamilton Lewis is not asking for team orders. He just
why should he burn up his tires if the guy
that's what I'm saying. McLaren don't operate like that, bro. We don't need to be doing. Why burn off your tires?
Just do it.
You're slow move.
Just do it, bro. You're not gonna catch Max. Just do it. Just overtake him. Race.
Long term.
Race.
Thinking long term.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I just hope
because he overtook him at the beginning of the race. You're starting P2 and you got dunked on.
Okay, yes, it's the start of the race. Everyone can overtake at the start of the race. That's nice, but during the race as well, isn't it?
Let's move on.
Without asking for team orders, yeah.
No, you're trying to stir up.
You're trying to cook something.
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying this is not the first time he's done it, and it's quite a regular thing. Like,
it's not a regular thing.
I'm quicker. He's saying I'm quicker. Can you get him to get out of the way?
He's basically overcut him how many times? He's cooked him bare times. Please, the pace differential is a bit scary. But anyways, we're gonna talk about
the overtake. That's it, innit?
Martz, answer the question. What's wrong with Perez?
Hey man, His wife is giving him stress at home. That's what's happening, bro. Hey, ever
It
since
seems
that
like in
cheating scandal,
Singapore and Japan, his driving standards is just falling off a cliff. I don't know what he's doing.
yeah, but ever since that alleged scandal he had last year, he's been looking really, really scary.
He looked good at the beginning of the season.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He won a race.
No, he didn't. Max was just adjusting his car. That was it.
Baku
just
beat him on
adjusting
pure
Max's
pace.
car.
1,000,000%. He
No,
beat him on pure.
he didn't.
He did. He beat him on pure pace. Perez beat him on pure pace in Baku.
Oh.
He cooked him in every practice session, man.
Yeah, well, but Perez does like Baku anyway, so it's not really a shocker, is it? So, yeah, he's been stinking it up for like, even for Perez to be stinking it up, he's been stinking it up for a while. That was bad, just crashing into everybody. Yeah, but yeah, sorry. This brings me back to something else. I don't know if we're going to talk on this, but the FIA not knowing their rule book. This is a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that now as well for Perez, because obviously
Yeah.
Perez had an incident with Hamilton at the beginning. Then he said he got damaged from that.
How did he get away with that?
No, because he's basically said it's a lap one incident, isn't it? Sainz squeezed him, and then he hit Hamilton. Because Sainz has no spatial awareness. But when it got to the actual race itself, he dropped back a bit. Then he just started moving like brazy. He's all over. He
dropped back on a safety car restart, didn't he?
Oh yeah, on the safety car restart. Yeah, He said something's wrong with the car, the balance, blah 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 blah. Then he just inexplicably just takes out Magnussen, just cooked it, just absolutely dusted him.
The intrusive thoughts won.
The worst thing is about that one, the lap before he nearly did it, and then the lap after he's like, fuck it.
Yeah. No,
for somebody like Perez who qualifies badly, he knows how to cut through the field. I don't know what he's doing in these last two races, but he usually knows how to cut through the field.
He's been stinking it for a while. He hasn't had a good race in a long time. When was his last good race?
He got P2 in Monza.
Huh?
That was 2 races ago. P2 in Monza.
Did he?
Yeah, he dunked on both Ferraris. He got P2. 1-2.
Yeah, but then that was almost like a recovery drive, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually his recovery drives are quite clean.
But and it's also Monza. Like, of course, it's the fact where he's going to be the fastest car there. He's in the fastest car. I expect you to be in the fastest track on the field to get back up there. When was that actually the last time Perez had a good race?
When was the last time he had a clean race?
I think Monza.
Was it clean though?
Because he stunk in qualifying.
I meant
ran the signs off the roads.
I meant a clean weekend where it's like, decent qualifying, even though you're qualifying P2.
It's been a while still.
He hasn't had one in a long time.
You know what? I have a theory. He's doing all of this to make Marco sound normal, so that Marco will say shit and get away with it, like, because the performance is not matching.
Yeah, but you know one thing I'll say? I think Perez's contract is watertight. He must have a brazy contract where they can't just dump him, because if he had that Red Bull driver contract, they would have dumped him a long time ago.
But no one else,
because he's got a contract that's like external. It's not a Red Bull driver contract. He's got something else. They can't even move him to AlphaTauri. They can't do anything. So shout outs to Perez's lawyers, because he's getting paid out.
But it's not the only reason why AlphaTauri is there is just to move drivers that are part of the Red Bull setup if they're acting crazy, and bring someone from AlphaTauri back to Red Bull. Like,
yeah, but they can't move Perez. People are saying, oh, he can move to AlphaTauri. They can move him. He's specifically got in his contract, I'm not a Red Bull Racing Academy driver. You cannot do that to me.
He's meant to be a machinery until they're ready to bring in someone in.
Well, they're saying Liam Lawson, isn't it?
That's what they're saying.
Martz, have you been impressed with Liam Lawson?
He's been all right. I don't know.
For long?
I wouldn't say I've been overly impressed with him.
Do you want to put him? Do you think they should throw him straight into the Red Bull seat?
Max would eat him. Nah, I think Max would just do whatever they did to Albon to him. It would eat him alive.
No.
It would eat him alive. I don't think so. That would be too much on that kid.
I don't know. Lawson is a bit of a weird one. I mean, he looks. I mean, we've seen him over 3 races. Was it Monza, Singapore, and now what was the last one? Japan. And he looked all right. He looked okay. I don't know if
Martz, it's okay
Yeah.
to say you don't like anything that comes out of Red Bull.
it's not even that.
It's okay.
It's not
Hey, who,
even that.
who do you want in the Red Bull seats? That's the thing. Like, because obviously
I don't
Ricardo's
give a-
there, Yuki Tsunoda's there. I think Yuki obviously signed that new contract now. He's going to stay at AlphaTauri and then possibly get that Aston Martin Honda move, whatever. But
I think their
what
best option.
happens-
I feel like their best option would probably still be Daniel Ricciardo. It will basically not be worse than Perez,
and he's not better
He
than
will.
Max. So they don't need to worry.
and it wouldn't be better than Max.
It will. It'll be worse than Perez.
Would it be
I can
worse
tell you
than
that.
Perez?
Yeah, that guy he stinks, man. That guy stinks.
Danny Rick.
Yeah, I think
Game off the grid.
that's part of it that Lando just dunked on his head, man. He just embarrassed him.
Exactly, and Max will dunk on his head and make him look worse. Get him off the grid.
But then, no, think about this, right? Lando
Listen, that
dunking
guy,
on you-
he's mentally weak as well. Get him off the grid.
Lando dunking on you is embarrassing. Max dunking on you is Max is dunking on
not.
everybody. Max dunking on you is basically what it will do to everybody apart from Lewis Hamilton.
Exactly, get him off the grid. He doesn't need to be here. Get him off the grid. Oh.
Yeah, I tried. Sorry, Danny Rick. They don't like you no more.
Unfortunately, Danny.
Unfortunately, Danny.
I don't
Yeah,
think-
but back
I don't
to the FIA.
Yeah, FIA. How did they do that? How did Perez
how
obviously
do you
was
not-
and came back 40 minutes later? 40-minute pit stop like his WEC.
And then you're saying, oh, we're going to change the rules after the fact now. So you can't do that anymore. Why do you not know your rules? Why are you looking up during this race your rule book? Why does another team know your rules better than you do? This is what people have problems with. Every single time they do something just to make themselves look worse. They take 1 step forward and 5 steps back. It's horrible. They're a horrible organization. You literally write the rules. You should know whether or not.
Jonathan Wheatley knows their rules better than them. We saw this
Yeah.
when they used to be FIA radio. Jonathan Wheatley was just dunking on their head, bro.
Jonathan Whitley used to remind them of what the rules were.
Like, you don't know the rules. I know the rules, bro.
Yeah,
Which is insane. That's like
crazy.
me. That's like me trying to submit my taxes and me just dunking on HMRC's head. Like, I know your rules, bro. You don't even know your own rules, which is crazy. But yeah, Perez coming back in the race. That's insane. Served the penalty. Magnussen does it. Magnussen gets look. It's like basically he gets no penalty for Magnussen. With the situation with Magnussen. Do you know how crazy that is? Insane stuff, man. But yeah, Perez, bro, that fraud watch, you're on the top of that list because we took Carlos Sainz off. You're there right now.
Carlito's been okay.
Yeah, but remember he was on the fraud watch list and we took him off.
Yeah, I didn't really co-sign that.
Why didn't you co-sign it?
I haven't co-signed that. I did not
I
agree
don't
to that.
co-sign.
I told you.
Why
that
have you
we're
not? No.
No, I told you not. Just
So
because
you're
that
not even
one
moving
was-
it. So wait, Martz, are we not moving him from fraud list to fraud watch list?
No.
Why not? He won a race and got 2 poles in a row. Be serious.
Okay.
No, I'm saying like I don't co-sign him being on a fraud watch.
Hey,
fraud
George Russell
list
needs to
at
be
all.
going on that watch list as well, boy.
We'll be renewing between now and Qatar. We'll be having a committee meeting on that. To be fair, we're gonna have to renew it. It's been a while, hasn't it?
I mean, I like Carlito. I like his dad. He's a cool kid from a good home.
Oh, listen, Carlos has got big brain IQ driving,
Yeah, heritage.
but we're gonna have to talk about it. Martz is looking disgusted. He rolled his ass. Red Bull Constructors champion
Well done.
for the 2nd year in a row.
Well done. Let's move on.
Max Verstappen, how many wins? Ridiculous amount of wins. Is this like?
No one
Are
cares.
we looking at a dynasty right now?
No, who cares? Let's move on. I'm tired. It's too
All
much.
right, Martz, you can go on mute.
I'm gone. Bye.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even remember a race this season where Max didn't win. To be honest,
Singapore, isn't it? Singapore, Baku, and Jeddah.
not that many. Like it's crazy. That's a crazy body of work. Like,
Crazy. Do you think? No, but my question is: obviously, they've done this. They're creating history. They've got 2 in a row now. Do you think they four-peat again, like how they did with Vettel? Do you think it's from now to 2026 they're cooking?
It depends on what other teams bring next year. But you know the crazy part? I still don't think this is even the best form of their car.
You think they're holding back?
I still think they're sandbagging.
That's crazy.
I genuinely feel like they're sandbagging, like, because it feels like every time anybody wants to bring like an upgrade that might bring them closer, they do something crazy and then they go like 2 seconds faster. They was genuinely putting a second a lap on people's head tops. On old tires.
They've understood every single aspect of that car, from tire deck to strategy to the right windows. They know what they're doing, man.
Yeah.
This is a different breeze to last year where they were going toe to toe.
You know the crazy part, even in Singapore last week, where they were bad, they were still like third fastest. Because Max was cutting through that field like crazy. He was cutting through that field like crazy.
Yeah.
So you look at how the season started. It was Aston Martin trying to like catch them. Aston Martin fell off. Ferrari tried. Ferrari is not. They're not even getting close. Yeah, they got that Fugazi race win and all of that. McLaren will try. Mercedes have tried, and no one has come close. They have more than ×2 the second position right now, and there's still 7 races to go.
Max is better than most constructors. Just Max by himself.
On his ones.
All of them. On his ones.
On his ones, it's probably better than P6 to P10 combined. You can hate them if you want to, but they're doing the damn job. You gotta respect it. It's the pinnacle of motorsport, and they get it.
I think it's much tighter next year.
I believe so.
I believe so because you know everybody talks about they had this penalty, the reduced wind tunnel time. I said from the jump that's going to impact 2024. That's not going to impact this year because they already built that car when they got the penalty. They already built the car they got right now when they got the penalty.
I feel so.
Impact them building next year's car.
I do feel so, but I feel like it's going to be one of those ones where they might win it, but they won't win it this easily.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think they might win races that Cantor 20 seconds. It's not happening.
And it might be a case where they would need the second driver to step up because there'll be other teams in and around there. You know, you need someone to get you P2 at least, or P3 at least.
It's scary hours, but let's see what happens in it. Let's see what happens. Before we go,
every team dominates. There's always domination in every era. You know, it is what it is, man.
It's at least it's not going to be as long as Mercedes one because 2026 is only 2 years away, so 2 seasons away. So we have to get through the 2024 season and then 2025 season.
Gotta pray that wizard that designs the car with the HP pencil doesn't get a hang of the rules real quick.
Listen, I told you. Listen, we'll be there.
Hey, they called me a madman, eh? They called me a madman.
Why did they call you a madman?
Because I said that man was the greatest.
Oh yeah. Come on.
I said it was the greatest.
These guys are dumb, man. Come on, man.
Hey, man, we're calling James Allison, you know, bro.
Allison aerodynamically, forget about it. Driver of the day.
Max Verstappen apart Lando Norris. Max apart from Max Lando Norris.
Apart from Max Lando Norris. Martz?
I'll give it to Max. He carried that team to a championship win. He broke his back carrying that team.
Actually, he did. He did.
100%. I'll give it to Lando Norris because fucking hell, man. You talk about dunking on people's heads, but he dunked on everybody's head. He dunked on the Mercedes head, Ferrari head. Bloody hell. Didn't need to do it that way. Latifi Award.
Perez, bro. Fucking hell.
Is that his worst performance ever?
Bro, it was shameless. Bro, why are you beefing? Why are you beefing with a? Why are you beefing with a Haas?
It's up there with Silverstone 21. That was a stinker as well.
I mean, bro, only one person had a worse race, and that was Logan
Stroll.
Sargent. Stroll didn't even.
Stroll, his rear wing fell off.
I don't even
He had to
remember.
retire the car.
He had to retire the car.
What?
He didn't even do nothing wrong.
No, boss is harsh, man. My man's rear wing fell off and had to retire the car. Like, yeah,
Stroll didn't even do nothing wrong.
Stroll didn't do that wrong. He was hooping a little bit at the beginning.
He was doing well. Yeah.
He didn't start the race, did he?
No, that's Singapore, bro.
That was Singapore, bro, last week.
Oh.
Wait,
Bro, get off the yak, bro.
God damn, man.
Damn, Daniel.
Man, drinking Merlot and that. Come on, bro. Wake up.
I'm only on water today, actually. Water.
But you know what? One of these days, we need to bring our filler pods back because I need to talk about that bozo team called Aston Martin.
No. We're gonna talk about. We're having a filler pod next week, bro. Don't worry about that.
I need to talk about bozo team called Aston Martin.
My Latifi Award is to George Russell because we did, brother. I don't know how you could be like, let me go on a one stop on the one of that. This is how stupid this guy is. He tried to dictate his strategy. Do you know how dumb this guy is? This guy, the highest deck track where people are the people before the race said, yeah, it might be a free stopper actually. It might not even be a two stopper. This brother tried to do a one stopper.
You know what? You know the stupidity in that decision was, he could have just done what Sainz did and be faster at the end.
He could have just done the exact same strategy. He should have just mirrored everybody else's strategy. Who do you think you are?
Look at Sainz, right? Like, you know, once they realized Lewis undercut Sainz, they were like, okay, you know what? He's already undercut you. Stay out there for longer. You get fresher tires at the end. You go after him at the end. But man was waiting for safety car and inshallah to get a free pit stop.
That's not how the game is played. That's not how the game is played. I'm gonna have to start doing that, bro.
Bring back.
Start doing the wire. I can't believe this is not hoops. This is not hoops. Nah. You can't do that, bro.
Man, I relying on safety car.
Relying on safety car. Hanging out there. Brother, when you got Ferrari there, you are beefing Ferrari, fam. Leclerc's up the road, bro. What are you doing? Stop fumbling strategies because you want to beat Lewis Hamilton. Try to maximize the amount of points you can get as a team. What are you doing? Hanging out there? Just go pit, man. Disgusting. Latifi Award for that. Before we go, listeners' questions. I think we only got a couple today. Who should get the final seat for next season at Williams? Who should get the final seat? Because clearly Logan haven't renewed him yet. Should it be Logan?
What are the options?
I thought he's all but confirmed that he's going to get that seat.
No, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
What are the options?
Apparently, they're testing Mick Schumacher right now, and they're testing Liam Lawson.
You know what? Give it to Mick.
To Mick, brother. Have you seen how much they're paying for Sergeant crashes, and then you want Mick in there?
I was about to say.
Might as well.
Mike. Give it to Liam. It's not going to be another Nick DeVries thing. He's actually showing that he's good.
I don't know. It's just going to be too many Red Bull drivers, bro.
Tell the teams to get their academy up, innit?
Liam's going to be there with flipping. Liam's going to be there with flipping Albon, and then they're going to get better, and then Red Bull are going to get it.
It's like most of football's got full of Cobham, innit? Everyone in the Prem has a Cobham player.
Cobham.
Exactly, man. Get your academy up.
Cobham fell off, man.
Shut up. Your centre back is a Cobham graduate. Your centre back is a Cobham graduate.
Didn't fall off, but it
didn't fall off.
Team, the team,
the main team is falling off. Cobham didn't fall off. Don't do that.
Do you know what's so funny? Next time you come on the pod, Chelsea will still be losing, so don't worry about it. You can come on next 2 months, they'll still be losing.
We're catching an L tomorrow too.
All right, next question. Who is a bigger terrorist, Bin Russell or Perez?
Osama bin Russell or
Perez.
It's Perez.
I don't like George's type of terrorism. George's type of terrorism is like the CIA. Yeah, they like infiltrate the country, then blow it up, and I don't like that. That's
I said he's like that brother from it's like the brother from Snowfall. I was flying into Nicaragua, Dropping
Exactly.
Ramos and that.
Fuck.
I can't do
Nah,
that. He's the inside man.
Perez is worse, man. You just see
Perez just does it because he's dumb.
No, but I don't
Perez
think Perez has not got that reputation. I think it's only recently he's been driving like that. I don't think he's generally got a terrorist reputation.
He was running
The
man off
biggest
the
is
road
always
last.
going to be Stroll. The
Bro,
biggest
what?
is always going to be
Look at
Stroll.
Look at what he was doing in Austria last year. Was it in Austria last year that was doing madness?
Or the year
But
before.
Perez, or was it the year before?
No, but then last year Austria, Russell did terrorism to Perez, took him out.
Bro, Perez has done terrorism, bro. We just don't remember because, like, tire whisper, bro. What was Perez doing in McLaren? Flat out
that was terrorism. He tried to kill.
That was war crimes, bro. That was war crimes, bro.
You sounded Jensen Button. I want your head.
Bro, Perez
I'll
versus
cover for you, brother.
Perez versus Ocon at some point in Racing Point. Full on war crimes. Yeah, Perez's body of work. Nah.
I think for a race win, I think Russell's way more likely to do terrorism.
If there's a race win on the line, yeah, Russell is. He activates
Russell's number one draft pick to punt Max off a track right now.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Crash him, pull up and crash.
Fam, he tried to dust off Max in a sprint race in Baku. Just took out a whole man's side pod.
Yeah,
and that's not even for a win.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway.
I mean, race win, but in general, Perez's body of work is crazy. That's a nasty.
Final question from Sahib Makbul. Shout outs to Raven BMNR that asked the question, and Scratching Genius asked the question before that. But the last question is by Sahib Makbul. Are McLaren most likely to challenge Red Bull next year? Yes or no?
With the way things are going, current projections, if Mercedes don't get their shit together, I don't know Ferrari, man. I don't even know what Ferrari are doing in this sport right now, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like it. They have the driver, they have the setup of the team, and they've not even used their new wind tunnel yet. And they have
but they're not going to use the new wind tunnel. They said not till mid next year.
No, they're already using it. They're using it. They put the 24 car in there before the summer.
I thought he said they won't be able to use it until. I'm sure Zach Brown said it was until next year.
No. They've already put the car in just before summer break, 2024 car.
So who's
they said they're not going to put this year's car in there. They said next year.
They're not putting this year's car. This year's car is not going in there. I think next
year's car was made in the Toyota or whatever wind tunnel. He said this 2024 car is already in the wind tunnel.
It looks likely it's McLaren. I mean, again, it could also be recency bias of the upturn. Because if you ask me this at the start of the season, I'd say no. It would have been different. So we'll see. It's Formula One.
Martz, who's going to be the closest next year?
No. I'm going to go with the boys in black. Just because. No. Oh, God, no. You know what, yeah. We need to talk about those two teams as well.
Hassan who?
The other useless organization.
AlphaTauri.
No, or
Alfa Romeo are going on the fucking radar, and I'm sick of this shit.
Exactly that one.
But they got how much money? This is a rich ass team.
They just go. They basically no expectations for them, and they just go around with it.
They're not. The organizational structure is shocking as well. They're not.
Guess who's in charge over there? Key and Seidel. The second Key and Seidel left, our team became good.
Key and Peel. More like Key and Peel.
Key and Peel. I last thing I think it's going to be Ferrari and McLaren. That's what I think Ferrari's going to turn up.
I don't know about that team in red, bro.
At the end of the day, they this year they could have comfortably got P2, but their drivers are bozos.
You've been
that team in red has the same problems as a team in north of England in red. Like they are the exact same.
You've been expecting
them to turn up for what we're saying. The structure was there, but the players didn't do their job.
Well, the structure isn't there either.
But the car was there though.
Was the car there though?
That car was second fast.
But Man United also have Marcus Rashford, so
I don't know if the car was. I don't know if the car was there or the other cars were shit.
They were good, man. They were just being shit. The drivers are being shit. Even Vasseur said it. You lot are shit, man. Pattern up. They patterned up, and now they're going to get second in constructors.
We'll see.
We'll see anyway.
And who's that because of?
George
Why is he?
Russell.
Anyways, shouts to everybody. Shouts if you got here so far. We'll be back next week with a new pod. We're gonna bring back them Philippods. We ain't done it in a while, innit? And we're gonna talk about teams like Alfa Romeo and Hassan that going under the radar. You get me? But we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Love.